Everybody, thank you for joining Cutting Up in the Kitchen. We've got a fantastic lineup for you today. I have my co-host, Darina Abdul-Samad, and we're going to be talking about healthy drinking, eating, and she's going to talk about some of her fantastic artwork that's part of Cutting Up in the Kitchen. So we're going to get right into it. Darina, you brought some great turmeric tea.
I did.
And why'd you do that?
Well, I'm getting used to you giving me advice on healthy choices and healthy food. And when I found that there was turmeric in tea, you've told me that it's good for you, good for your blood pressure.
Antioxidants.
It's an antioxidant.
Inflammatory.
So when I saw it, I said, okay, this is good. It's very earthy, and I could put it in my cups.
Thank you. These are her cups that she made. They're just fantastic. It looks really, really beautiful. And these cups just don't look like you made them yourself. I mean, I see you making them all the time. We've been to the studio with the camera. I mean, you do such fantastic work. So we're sipping on some delicious herbal turmeric tea. And you know, turmeric is actually a root. And people don't think so, but it is, it's a stem. It's not really a root like ginger root, it's a stem. And it's ground up, and of course, you know, curry gets its color from the turmeric. So we're winning with this. So we're gonna sip a little bit, but I want the viewers to kind of catch up what's going on with you. And we all know that Darina is a master's in education. She's a teacher here in Pasadena, and she has an art studio, and she does great work. Now, I know you're working on an invention. I don't want to give it away, but it has something to do with water conservation, and it's ancient in time. If you could be so kind to tell us about these ancient artifacts that you made.
Okay, so I didn't invent it. It's like you say, it's ancient. I'm borrowing ideas. These are called oyas, and they're an ancient irrigation system. And since California is in a drought, as you know,
Absolutely.
I read up on Oya irrigation, and I got some terracotta clay. You fire the terracotta clay once, that means it goes in the kiln one time, so it gets hard from the clay, and you actually bury these pieces. Now, what I didn't realize is when I started having fun and playing with the clay, that I was going to love the clay so much that I made pieces that were you didn't want to bury necessarily. So but the way it works is you bury the piece, you put water into the piece. So in other words, the only thing that you would see would be the spout. You would bury it in the flower bed on the earth. You put water in it, and the water actually seeps
through the clay naturally.
Through the clay body, since it's porous still, and it gives natural. You save water,
and it's a great way to do irrigation.
Yes.
So in other words, maybe 7 to 10 days, you don't have to water something.
You don't have to water.
I mean, guys, that is so fantastic. I can't wait for you to finish that project and get it patented. And I mean, also the Oyas, they look fantastic. I mean, they can be anything. I like the ideal, and even for potted plants, if you see in the commercial setting and there's huge, I mean, pots you can't move.
Right.
They have to have some kind of irrigation trip.
Right,
but if it was in there, that would just save so much water.
Yeah, and they come in all sizes, and it depends on the amount of watering, the earth that you want it to water. The bigger ones, of course, you have a bigger jug, bury it, have your spout, cover up your spout, and it would cover more space. Or if it's a potted plant, you can have a smaller one, and you just dig a hole, put that in, and water that.
Fantastic. It's kind of like a colander, right? I mean,
Yes,
I think
you're going away for a while. You can put it in your house plant, and just.
And how fantastic!
Right?
So I mean, God,
and I didn't invent it. I'm not.
I know, but the fact that you make and also one of your main, I know that you don't just make the Oreos, but you really do some fantastic work with the gourds.
Yes.
Can you tell me about what you're doing with your gourds right now? I know you have some stuff on order, and I know I've referred people, they're kind of waiting. You do such fantastic work.
Well, gourds are in the pumpkin family. And I don't have any gourds here today, but I love the gourds because they have organic shapes. And similar to this, similar to the Oyas, the shapes that are naturally made are the shapes that I gravitate towards. So I say Mother Nature creates the shapes, and she's done such a wonderful job. I can borrow ideas from her. So I actually take gourds, lupa, like a lupa sponge, that's inside of the gourd. So you have to carve that out. The gourd gets hard like wood, and you can wood burn it. There's so much you could do. You could carve it like a pumpkin and it get hard. You could paint on it. So gourds, and I've evolved from gourds to clay, but they are kind of the same earthiness to me.
And it's so fantastic because you are a different person with a zen on you when you're doing clay. So is that your form of therapy?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a form of therapy. Like you say, I'm an educator. I teach art to 7th and 8th grade children, and a lot of times after being with them, I have to kind of get my hands and cutting up,
and it's kind of good.
But my students love clay. I use clay as an incentive for them to behave because it's so therapeutic, and there's limitless things that you can do. You'll never get bored. You'll never run out of ideas.
Well, I like the fact that you're able to blend in, I mean, just being a true artist, and then able to educate people. I mean, you not only do that, you're a full, I say, all-around artist because you do hennas. You've been on the show before where you've done hennas, and we've made gourds, and you had a whole series of cookie jars, and I know you sold out of those. Those are fantastic. But what we're going to do today, she has such beautiful things here. I don't know if you can see this. Everything is handmade, and it's just lovely. And we're going to make some cupcakes and ice some cupcakes and put them on this beautiful tray that she made. I mean, it just looks fantastic. It's really beautiful. You do great work.
Thank you.
So what I've done, I have some cream white icing over there, and I think you have chocolate. And then we're going to try to do some as we go. I'd like for you to tell me, what are you working on right now?
Right now,
in the community.
In the community, okay. In the community, I am trying to work so there is some program for young ladies such as ourselves to work in clay, in some sort of pottery, and on our own time. What I realize is as I'm getting younger.
And you certainly are.
Yes, as I'm getting younger, what I realize is it's now time for us because if we don't take care of ourselves,
who is, right?
Young women, we've done our share raising families and working with husbands and
so on and so forth. And I think basically what you're saying is that you need volunteers to help out.
We need to gather ourselves and help each other out.
I think so.
Yeah.
So how would a person reach you? Do you have an Instagram page, or is there something simple that they can reach out to either look at some of your work and go from there? Because I think you not only, I mean, it's incredible because you're doing beautiful work, and I know that it's difficult when you're one person to do all the work yourself.
Well, again, the work is fun and play for me, and it is therapeutic, like you say. And I just want to share and help other people.
Cute.
Cute, huh? Help other women such as ourselves get in touch with our inner selves. And again, for me, it is through clay and through playing with the arts. But it could be yoga. It could be learning how to take our herbs. Like you are so often remind me of the things that I could do. And so those are the kind of things I think if we get together as women that we can give each other incentive to live to our fullest.
Absolutely.
I feel like we've been on the roller coaster ride, and you know, at the end of the roller coaster ride, when you're supposed to be screaming and saying, "Yay!" that was great.
It's really fantastic, because what I hear you saying in a nutshell too, by doing your clay in creation, it is also an element of quiet chambers for the creative mind to come out. I mean, come on, you make those necklaces you have on, right?
Yes.
They're absolutely, and they're earrings. So it's like she evolves and goes from one extreme of art to the next, and that's why we love it. And the main thing here is that art in the kitchen happens every day. I mean, how cute. See, we're creating art without even trying, but it happens. Art is everywhere you look. I mean, God made us to be creative. Yes. And what he's created is some big art, isn't it? I mean, it is amazing what has happened, and it's just fantastic. So when you are it doesn't matter if you're old or young, I think that everyone should follow a passion. If something doesn't work, try it and keep going. But things that you're passionate about, I think you should do it and go for it. Go for it. Go for it. You can't lose. Right. I mean, nothing beats a loser but a try, right?
Nothing beats a failure but a try.
And you just really can't hate on people unless you are, if you're doing something and trying to make something happen, there's no reason. So.
Well, the hate comes, I think, if you haven't found your passion, or you haven't.
So cute.
And I think it's everything. It's not one thing or another, but it's a process of continuously creating and finding things and trying new things and seeing what is going to stick with you, or what is going to, in my case, it's always something new. And that used to bother me. I used to feel like, well, some artists find one thing and that's what they do, but I decided I'm a grasshopper. I hop from one thing and then...
But it's really not different. It's like all in the same hodge. I mean, it's like in your big pot that you stir, you have these things. And I mean, since I've known you, you've been creative and been an artist. Now, what some of the projects that you're working on currently that's coming up? I do believe you're in an art club that meets locally, where people can come and buy your art.
Yes, we're having a Zim, XIEM. I'm giving them a commercial.
And so when is that?
That is November the 14th and 15th.
Oh, so that's coming up.
Yes, and that's on Lake Avenue right here in Pasadena. And you'll see balloons out, and there'll be ceramic artists from all over the area. And I will have all of my work, my cookie jars, my pot heads. I have pots.
And you have those stash jars too.
I have, yes, I have cookie jars, pot heads, there are pots.
Yes.
With flowers that have faces
and
on
then
them,
you
just
have
to clear
these
that
great
up to my
pieces,
students who
right?
might be watching.
Yes, yeah.
Flower pots.
Exactly. And so you have those great pieces though that hang on the wall. That they either can be used like this, like this great bowl that we're using our cupcakes out of, and the platters, the Oyas, and then the gourds and all the other things. And plus, like I said, she does the jewelry and in addition to that, you're educating our youth.
Yes.
And I think, and I'm not trying to get political, but what is going on with education? I think teachers really should be paid their weight, okay? Because you guys have the future in your hands. And it's so important. If we don't educate our kids, what's going to happen to who's running the country?
Well, we're you know, education is changing, and it always has. Sometimes it changes and goes around full circle, but we have the technology, so it's new. And we are on the ground, the front line. The educators are on the front line. So it is mostly important that we use technology we need, we have the support that we need, and I'm confident that our PUSD
it's going to come through.
It's going to come through. I think it's just that we have to realize and we have to make ourselves strong and make them aware of our importance.
Now, can I say, I know that you teach applied art, right? And because your master's degree is in design art,
It's in design-based learning.
Design-based learning. So what is the one single thing that you would tell your students that they must do, when you see a student that has not eaten breakfast, does that have an impact even in an art class on their attention span?
Oh, absolutely. Or they think they're eating breakfast, which happens to be red
Stuff.
red, I'm not kidding.
Not hot chips.
Or red hot Cheetos first thing in the morning. So that is,
whoa.
yes, that is what they consider breakfast, some of my students. So our president's wife, Michelle Obama, our candy machines have now been changed, so we have better foods, but they still sneak in and they believe. So educating the students to good foods, foods that are good for them, and not having them fall back on the big companies that are really trying to get them addicted to sugar very early.
Well, you know, it's interesting because do you think it would provoke them if you were having them make a banana or an apple, or think about fruit or grapes, because grapes are little, and I don't know, because it really, the red stuff, it does nothing for them. And eating food that's dead, it's not going to do anything for your body but just take you out sooner. And it starts when we're a baby. You know, we're eating, we're building our cholesterol up in our linings of our heart vessels, and I think the sooner we know good health, the better off we are.
Yeah, some projects, again, in design-based learning, the students design their own learning. You give them choices, but they actually design their own learning. So something like that, you would bring in somebody like yourself into the classroom, and you would have them actually prepare food. Now that sounds old, because we used to have home ec.
And we don't anymore.
And we don't anymore. So mixing the old, something like hands-on home ec, with the new technology. Okay, let's look it up and let's get the ingredients that would make something, and then have the children, young people, design something totally new on their own, mixing the old with the new. But it has to be hands-on. And it has to be, they can go right on Dr. Google and find out what's the most nutritious and what combination should go, and they have it right there.
And I know kids can be kind of finicky, but I know that they're drawn to finger food. So what I wanted to do, I'm done with my tea, and we're going to continue with healthy drinking while we're here in the kitchen. So what I brought was some cranberry juice.
Oh,
and what we should do is take a shot, because, you know, you got to have, if you do a shot of this a day, maybe one in the morning, one afternoon, just a shot.
So dark chocolate and cranberry juice. That sounds really good to me.
Yeah, these are dark chocolate cupcakes. And then we have a cream, and then we have dark chocolate chips. So what we're going to do here, I'm just going to pour us a little shot of cranberry, and I like to have mine straight instead of with, or I'll mix it with water.
Okay.
And and what I like to do when I buy the cranberry, blueberry, or pomegranate juice, I would just go ahead and take it out of the bottle and put it into a decanter. And hey, it looks great. I need to take a shot, so we're going to take a shot to good health.
Good health.
And I want you to continue to educating your children. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And I really look forward to you finishing up your irrigation system. I can't wait to see it, and we'll come out and watch you in action with you, perhaps, and your kids.
Sounds good.
That sounds good. Let's
Thank
take a
you.
toast to
Cheers.
health and
To
wealth. I finished mine. Oh, it's good. It's perky. So, tell me now. I know that Zen is the Zen function is coming up, and you guys are going to be there for 2 days.
Yes, it's Friday and Saturday. I'm also going to be in the Creative Arts Group in Sierra Madre on Baldwin Avenue.
So there's a creative art group that you're involved. Hey, that cranberry do it to you every time. Just imagine what it's doing to our
and you can actually
kidney.
feel it. It's very good. That's also a show for the holidays. And Darina'sDesigns@gmail.com. You can email
you
me
heard that.
And Darina's Designs on Instagram. I have my pictures up.
Oh, fantastic. And we're coming up to the end of the show, so you guys make sure you tune in and see what's next. And don't forget to hit me up on Instagram, B. Shay in the Kitchen TV, and we'll see you next time on In the Kitchen with B. Shay. Cutting up in the kitchen with B. Shay.
Keep creating.
Next time, in the kitchen, cutting up. Okay, thanks so much. And I'm going to take another shot because it's good. 2 shots. This will be my second shot for the day. And then that's all I can handle. There we go.